Serame Taukobong is the Group CEO at Telkom, and he joins us now. Thank you very much, Mr. Taukobong, for joining us. The macroeconomic environment really is not conducive to growth as consumers are under financial strain, and this is evident in how many businesses, including Telkom, have performed in 2022. It's one of the reasons you have put behind this decline in performance in this interim results.
Thank you, Fulani, and good evening to you and your viewers. Absolutely, I think the market conditions and the cost of operating in this market have been tough. But I think what's important for us is our broadband strategy is beginning to yield results. As we manage the decline of our legacy fixed propositions, we are increasingly seeing positive growth in our NGN or next generation networks, both in mobile consumers and fibre, and also surprisingly in our BCX business.
Mr. Taukobong, these results are on the back of that particular environment, but they also speak about new technologies being preferred, LTE and fibre. And when you look at this particular period, Telkom did in fact increase that active mobile subscribers from 16.2 million to just over 18 million. But despite that particular growth in mobile subscriptions, this has not been a good period for Telkom as consumers are preferring new technologies.
Well, I think it's part of our evolution. Telkom has been aware of the impact of our legacy business, and the reflection, the numbers you quoted in mobile and also in OpenServe show that this intended strategy of evolving customers from your legacy higher margin propositions to more your next generation, I think within the next 18 or so months, we'll start to see the inflection of those new future revenues starting to make up the legacy of the old copper technology.
Let's talk about an interesting development when it comes to a possible tie-up merger with MTN. I saw a report today saying that you might still be interested in that tie-up, but are you still in talks with Rain as well, as they are also interested in a tie-up with Telkom?
Yes, let me start with the Rain. So with the Rain, as we indicated in our sense, we received a proposition. The team is actively engaging with Rain to establish what the potential synergies are for this type of proposition. If you look at our ecosystem, we both play in similar areas in terms of 5G, and we have complementary propositions to offer. However, we have set ourselves a target of making a go, no-go decision by the end of December this year. Secondly, on MTN, talks have stopped. However, we do have a solid relationship with MTN. We did sign a roaming agreement with MTN. And in fact, if we look at OpenServe, one of the biggest customers is MTN. Strategically, at a high level, I think the empirical value of a potential combination at mutually agreeable terms is still on the table.
I'm sure shareholders are going to be quite happy when it comes to that particular announcement. Let's talk about load shedding. You have spent a lot of costs, a lot of money rather, when it comes to diesel and keeping the networks running, just like your other competition, MTN and Vodacom, whom we have spoken to. Load shedding is really eating into the bottom line, with diesel costs also rising. How is the situation there when it comes to your spend, when it comes to the load shedding and the ESCOM troubles that are now filtering into your business?
So if we look at the impact of diesel costs across our business, we've seen a 154% increase in diesel costs this period compared to last year period. Quite a significant amount. Most importantly, we're also having to increase our capex build, especially on our mobile sites, to make sure that we minimize the impact of load shedding on our customers, and importantly, the impact of roaming as a result of load shedding. We are also aggressively looking at other alternatives, our solutions, and not to have a high reliance on diesel.
I'm sure shareholders will also be happy that this is the final year or that you have suspended paying a dividend, but you are also, as management, currently exploring various options of realizing the value of the mast business and the towers business. Talk to us about that and how you want to maximize on that.
I think for us, as we've always indicated, in the short term, the value unlock is really to, one, rebalance our balance sheet, two, continue the investment in our core infrastructure to support growth in mobile and in OpenServe. We have stated that we will reinstate the dividend policy at the end of our financial year. It will be based on our free cash flow status. And of course, once we get to that level, we'll be able to indicate how shareholders can exercise this further. But initially, the value unlock propositions is to make sure that we, one, reshape our balance sheet, and two, continue to fund the capital expenditure which we need to build for our broadband growth.
Let's talk about looking ahead now. Today, inflation ticked up just a little bit. Tomorrow, we are going to hear from the Reserve Bank Monetary Policy Committee when it comes to interest rates. As a business that is reliant on active consumers that have disposable income, buying new tech phones, how is this environment impacting on your operations? When you look at the potential rise in interest rates tomorrow, are you concerned about your own space as well?
Well, I think we are constantly looking at how we manage our cost to acquire. On our mobile business, that has dropped from over 30% to just under 20, I think just over 27%. So we are also intentionally looking at saying, how can we be more cost effective in how we service our customers? From our price propositions, we always want to make sure that we drive value for the customers, and looking at more creative ways of saying, how can we make sure that in these challenged times, customers still have access to the services that they so enjoy from Telkom.
Serame Taukobong is the Group CEO at Telkom. Thank you very much, sir, for your time this evening, talking to us there about their profit actually halving, actually down by 52.9% in the interim results, as a number of macroeconomic issues are impacting on their performance.